So it's 2025, and I figured I might as well get with the times. So starting today, I officially identify as a dandelion. Whatever the hell it is you need or want, you're just gonna have to blow me first. My new girlfriend is always getting upset with me because she feels we have separation problems, whatever the hell that means. I think it boils down to the fact that I never spend the night with her, despite multiple attempts to try to explain to her, that the nurse home doesn't allow overnight visitation. I know a guy by the name of Jody that used to work up there. Jody wasn't a bad guy or nothing, just when he was a baby, his mama used to put her cigarette butts out in a soft spot, and I don't think he ever fully forgave her for it. Now every time he walks to a barber shop to get his hair cut, the whole place goes to smelling like Pall Mall Reds. Jody was once involved in a catastrophic car crash that tragically turned an old man into dust particles. And the craziest part is he survived. They had to carry that bitch around in a jar. They used to say if you rubbed it hard enough, he'd pop out and give you 3 wishes. That's actually how he got his calling to, take care of elder people, was, turning some old dude into Kazam. Jody was out here shacking a fool before he found his place. However, one night, Jody got in a fight with a guy named Chad down there in the Publix parking lot, arguing over who had the better lift kit on their Chevy shitbox. Chad almost had him beat until Jody's vitamin C pill kicked in. You ever seen someone like Mario mushroom power up? Well, only his pecker did, because turns out that vitamin C was Viagra. Jody got beat up with a hard on, and now everybody thinks he's a part of some, underground sexual beat up cult. Jody left town not too far long after that. He couldn't get to go back down. We told him for weeks he needed to call the doctor, but he ain't got no insurance, so he called a strip club instead. It was all fun and games for a while, until one night he was doing his laundry. He closed the damn lid on it, Now it looks like a half-used tube of toothpaste. Anyways, because of that, I do think of Jody from time to time when I have an erection, and not in a weird way. I want to clarify. I remember when I first got my license, I was 17, cruising the block, cruising the street with my bro. We be hollering at all the cute girls. What's up, baby? You wanna come get in the ride? I'm just messing with y'all. We didn't get no hoes outside the ones that I tested positive, but that's a completely different story for another day. Now, this is the dirty South, and it was my first car, so obvious the AC didn't work in it. That shit was like driving around in an easy bake oven. Now, my buddy that was with me, he'll tell you that he's autistic. Because he can draw really well, he just can't pronounce his R's properly. He was also like 90 pounds soaking wet, because he was anemic, he occasionally bleeds from the butthole. When we was riding around, I couldn't let the window down too far because he fly out like an empty grocery bag. He was all like, man, I'm kind of hungry. I was like, no shit. Let's go get some food. He was like, let's hit the drive-thru. I would like to state that this was my first time going through a drive-thru, all right. I figured it'd be pretty easy. I was a little anxious at first. I told my buddy that I was nervous, hoping he'd give me some words of encouragement, but instead he just called me a bitch. Don't take that too well. I was like, you know what? Screw this guy. I can do this. I just don't hit the curb. I remember just repeatedly saying to myself over and over again, don't hit the curb. Don't hit the curb. Don't hit the curb. As I proceeded to hit the curb, I was like, you know what? I'm about to just drive straight through this sumbitch. Fuck it. But I was able to calm myself down. We got up to the little speaker box up there, old Darth Vader was taking our order, talking about some, what could you have to do? My buddy's like, yeah, let me get a number 3, a number 5, a number 7. I'm looking at the back saying, who the fuck is this food? This ain't Meals on Wheels. He expected me to sit there and list that long ass order, and the speaker Vader is getting annoyed and impatient, and I just went full on Tourette's. I just, burgers. My buddy about missing a beat, he just leans over to the box like, no pickles. Bitch, I drove the fuck off. Are you kidding me? I became this guy's parent immediately. I was like, hey, we got food at home. Well, if you ever think about coming to Georgia, don't. What y'all know about Albany, Georgia? I went to Albany, Georgia the other day looking for directions. The guy told me back the way I came. And I was walking through there the other day. I turned my head for 2 seconds. Turned back, hell, someone done stole my legs. I was out there sitting on cinder block. I broke down outside of Comic-Con in Albany one year. I asked for a jump and got my ass beat by 7 Power Rangers. We got Tifton, Georgia. Now, Tifton's slogan is the friendly city, which is quite ironic being as it has one of the worst crime rates in the world. But then again, the other day I saw a crackhead robbing the Waffle House, and he was smiling the whole time. And that's when maybe that's what the slogan means. Maybe it's a morale thing. Tifton kind of reminds me of Meg from Family Guy. Nobody really gives a shit, but they're there. The coast of Georgia, it ain't much better. You got Savannah out there. Now, that's a good place to get shot at the beach. I went swimming in Jekyll Island last year, and now they say I got whatever the hell killed Eazy-E. I miss the old Jekyll Island, but back before they kicked all the alcoholics out and made it a resort. Just wait till you come visit North Georgia, aka Meth Mountain. I gotta give the tweakers up there a lot of credit, man. They stay in shape, you know what I mean? Not like these ones down here, I ran into one, he was hiking the Appalachian Trail the other day. I thought it was crazy. I was like, what's the occasion, man? You getting sober, trying to bring awareness? I was all inspired. He's like, nah, man, they got better shit in West Virginia. His buddy from Alabama was with him. He kept screaming, "Whoa, tie, whoa, tie." I got confused for a second. I was like, no, it's Roe versus Wade. You know, down here you hit the ditch, you know, you just tossed a beer can, call a buddy, and just wait it out. Not in North Georgia. Nope. You hit the ditch up there, you liable to be 3 counties over before you hit the fucking bottom. I don't like the way people drive up in North Georgia. Everyone drives like we ain't hanging off the side of a fucking mountain. That bothers me. I'm one brake check away from starring in my own Dukes of Hazzard spinoff that gets canceled after the first episode. Not everybody in this great state of Georgia agrees on everything, but if there's one thing we all agree on, nobody speeds through Poland, Georgia. You can always come to my old college stomping grounds, Douglas, Georgia, or as I like to call it, the Desert City, because no matter which route you take, you drive through so much nothingness and dead zones that when you finally get there, you're concerned on whether or not you hallucinated it. Douglas, Georgia is known for 3 specific things: Tyreek Hill, Will Mosley, and my college debt. I would say something about Valdosta, but I ain't gotta do that. Turn on the news, they talk about themselves. So again, if you're ever thinking about coming to Georgia, don't. So to all my hunters on here, I'd like to share some valuable information that just might help you in the future. I've actually learned that playing video games helps you be a better hunter. Now, let me explain. You see, when I was a youngin', I'd game on Nintendo. Whenever the Nintendo started messing up, I'd take the game cartridge out, blow it like a harmonica, stick it back in, and everything worked fine. When I got a little older, I started gaming on Xbox, right? And when the Xbox would mess up again, I'd take the little game disc out, you know, I'd blow it like a harmonica, stick it back in, and it worked fine. So earlier today, when I got stopped by the game warden, when I get rich, the first thing I'm going to purchase is a fuck to give. Because as fun as it is not to have one, I can just imagine it being so much funner to have it and just not give it. I will treat my fuck like a collector's item. I will get the shit laminated. I'm gonna place it right up there next to my big mouth Billy Bass. So, you know, you can marvel in it while nodding your head to a little bit of that, you know, don't worry, be happy. Friends and neighbors will come over complaining about it, you know, whispering under their breath, you know, why would he spend all that money on that fuck just for it to sit here in his garage? But I won't listen. They don't understand my joy. They don't understand my happiness. When I die, I'm getting buried with that fuck too. I done rode off in the wheel along with everything else going to Reba McEntire because I gave her a lot of shit in my day and she didn't deserve it. I want to be that guy that has a lot of money, but whenever you ask him for some, you know, he ain't got it, you know. But with fucks, I could get the cheaper option, you know. I could buy a shit to give, but you know, outside of Count Chocula, I'm just not a big fan of the off-brands. Plus, I need y'all to know that I mean business, you know. Shit is a sentence enhancer, you know. Fuck is textual assault. Going to Spencer's as a child is a lot different than going as an adult. You know, you go in there as a kid, you're like, oh, I like this, you know, it's edgy. You know, kind of got that little vibe to it. And then one day you turn 18, you're like, what you mean there's a back room? I went back there with my homegirl the other day because she was looking for one of them roses, you know, because she can't get nobody to play in her Harry Potter. She got that Chamber of Secrets down there. She even tried to get me to mess with one time. I said, look, I like you and everything. It's just every time you sit down, I get a vague hint of corn chips. What's up with that? She asked if I was going to get a toy for myself. I said, hell no, I could choke my Bart Simpson just fine. Plus, they're out of bags. Like, we ain't got to walk a quarter mile to the fucking parking lot. They really want me to open carry this pocket poon through the public inhabitants of a strip mall. They even had Amber Alerts in there, which was kind of confusing. You know, if you ever fall and can't get up, you press the button and BAM! You morph into Johnny Depp in a courtroom. That and some blonde chick shits in your bed. Now, I don't know if that's a side effect. I ain't really looked into it. She eventually went with Bilbo the Dildo, which is a fitting name because every time she puts a ring around it, it disappears. Of course, she eventually convinced me to get a toy as well against my better judgment. We got up to the cash register and the cashier, yeah, they looked exactly like how you think they look. Sometimes simple, innocent curiosity can be viewed as ignorance. Anyways, insert pronouns. They're talking to my homegirl. She was like, oh my God, that toy is amazing. Never lets me down. And I just got curious, you know. I was like, which one? I'm banned from Spencer's now. We just brought a species of wolf back from extinction. AI is getting more advanced, and eventually a pack of dinosaur riding robots is gonna take over the fucking world. All these scientific breakthroughs just for me to get murked by a pack of velociraptors on my Sunday walk. This type of shit is exactly the reason why I always tell JetPT thank you. Welcome to the end of the world, brought to you by State Farm Insurance. This is why you shouldn't shit in public toilets, because they're taking your DNA. When you take a shit at your buddy's house and the toilet don't want to flush properly, you're embarrassed. You're like, why me? It's because there's a backup in the DNA intake. This is why Elvis died of constipation. Elvis died in the pursuit of happy shit. Robots are dangerous, and I'm not referring to self-checkout machines. If you go to Walmart and break open a self-checkout machine, you'll come to find they're actually being ran by hobbits from the Shire. No, I do not take hardcore drugs, even though I'd like to. If I got a nickel for every time someone asked me how tall I was, I would have no nickels, because no one asked me that. No one asked the real questions. What did the letter C ever do to get attached to hepatitis? And why am I still walking around with this dusty-ass hat on my head when it's apparent it should be hung up in a museum somewhere, preferably next to the Cosby sweater? Yeah, y'all probably think I'm crazy right now, but I'll be the first one here to tell you so when you walk out your front door and it's fucking Godzilla versus the Iron Giant outside. My first time at a strip club was probably one of the worst experiences of my life. First off, this is all my buddy's idea because he doesn't have a woman at home, so I guess he figured his chance at love would be some trucker side piece named Amanda. You see, when it comes to dating, my buddy goes both ways, yet he's still single, so he's bi alright by his fucking self. Guy's gotten so desperate he's one rejection away from going to the bar and roofing himself. He's my buddy, so I've tried helping him multiple times, My most recent was setting him up an account on farmersonly.com, which was ironic considering he wound up dating a hoe for 6 months. Now, I had no interest in going, but I figured I'd be supportive of my buddy and his bullshit, because that's what a friendship is, unfortunately. Now, first off, we get there and there's a dead body in the fucking handicap parking spot, alright? That should have been my first red flag, but the dude was Crip, so I got confused. We walk in, we head straight to the bar. You ever been to these strip clubs that sell like actual restaurant food? I saw a guy in there toss away $200 in ones that complained about the bacon to lettuce ratio in his home-style BLT. I ain't gonna lie, I did end up going with some onion rings though, because I was kind of hungry. Them poor girls, man, they been in there working overtime, and you could tell it too, man. Whole place smelled like black and mild and Bengay. My buddy was over there trying to eat his pulled pork sandwich. Old girl was twerking on him, his brain fighting between two natural instincts. Am I hungry? Am I horny? The longer he thought about it, the more off spectrum he got. Hey, that shit was wild, man. I told him multiple times not to get that shot. Turns out the girl wasn't even full time. She was a substitute. The other girl got sick, so she called in. Substitute stripping. That's a thing, but they won't tell you that. They'll call it like on-call dancer, some shit like that. Whatever they can do to hide the daddy issues. Some guy randomly walked up to me. He was like, "What size are you?" I said, 12. I thought you were talking about shoes. He said, "I'm 7.5 on Blue Chew. Can you work with that?" I said, "Bitch, I just retired. Fuck you mean? I came up here to support a friend, not get no damn booty banded." He said, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I meant no disrespect," and he walked off. And it occurred to me, I was like, holy shit, this dude thought I was a girl. He thought I was a lady. I didn't get upset because I got misgendered or whatever. I didn't cause a scene or nothing, I just sat there and I took it. Like the strong, independent woman that I am. Anyways, I told substitute daddy issues over there about my buddy's predicament, and even though she wouldn't sleep with him out of fear he'd move into the hedges outside of her apartment, she did give him a little action in the bathroom, if you know what I mean. It was terrible. He cried the whole time. The whole establishment heard it. Everybody heard it. It sounded like someone had just called him and told him that his children had passed away in a car accident, and then he immediately went to the bathroom to pass a kidney stone. Speaking of calls, he called his mom as soon as he finished, as if he just got into college or something, you know what I mean? "This is for you, Mom. You always believed." And apparently, I didn't even know this, but it was that girl's birthday. As soon as she came out the bathroom, here come the other employees with a damn cake talking about some happy birthday to you. I was like, damn, that's kind of cool. She don't even work there full time. That's taking your employees into consideration. One of them said, "Make a wish, sweetie." I was like, Lord, good God, if she blows on it, don't eat it. She had just turned 22. And 2 weeks later, she filed her first restraining order. There is a very valuable lesson to be learned in all of this, and that's that if you ever go to a strip club, don't eat the onion rings. That was some of the worst diarrhea of my life. A quick moment of silence to all my stoners tasked with hiding eggs on this 420 Easter, some of whom will never return. When it comes to women, I don't discriminate and I don't discriminate. I was raised not to see color or cholesterol. And no, I don't judge women for wearing makeup to fake an appearance, because normally I have to fake my entire personality just to get them to sleep with me. Say that nice guys finish last, and maybe that's why I struggle the way I do, because I've been known to be a great guy pre-intercourse. I'd also like to state that the phrase "nice guys finish last" is false information. In fact, the entire 6 months we were together, I don't think she finished once. Anyways, don't let that distract you from the fact that Katy Perry went up to space on a giant dildo and, came back after 10 minutes talking about some divine feminine, and we all was kind of hoping something bad was going to happen. Let's be honest here. So I had to do a little search and rescue action earlier on my Uncle Jerry. He done got lost out there in the woods trying to run from the probation officer. This is the 4th time in the last 3 months he's done this, and it's starting to become quite the annoying, especially considering the fact that he ain't even on probation. Last time I found him, he was out there wrapping around the roots of a tree covered in mud trying to camouflage the body heat. He made friends with a warthog out there. Now they be out there doing drugs together. Jerry's a rather small feller too, so whenever he needs supplies, he just hops cops on the back of him, ride him into town looking like a Section 8 Timon and Pumbaa. It pisses me off too, because he cuts his phone off every single time so he don't get tracked. You know, I remember one time I found him, he was out there, he done found 2 sticks, he was beating on the side of a tree with a pattern. You know, he was trying to summon me via Morse code. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Crack Boy, keeping crime in abundance while running from the law, as well as his arch nemesis, Narcan Man. Uncle Jerry's an OG crackhead, and I respect that. You know, it's these younger crackies that piss me off. There ain't no honor there, you know. These new guys just run around stealing shit. You know, at least the OGs, you know, they trade you some head for it. Not that me and Jerry ever did any of that, just to be perfectly clear. You know, Jerry's family, which means he don't steal shit, he just borrows it. Forever. Howdy. I don't too much care for people that always like to boast their humanitarian work for their own personal gain. People need to stop acting like they care about folks. Hell, if you cared about somebody, you wouldn't shove the damn camera in their face. I ain't never recorded myself giving money to the poor, nor have I ever been recorded giving money to the poor. And I know that for a damn fact. Because, you know, I ain't never gave money to the poor. Best I could do is honk for support. Some people may worry they'll use that money to go buy alcohol, but I'm here to tell you it's 2025 and times have changed. Hell, the last time I gave a homeless guy money, he went and got an abortion. They'll kick me off this app eventually, but not today. While I'm at it, I don't like them damn motivational speakers either, especially the financial ones always on Facebook telling me that I'm not stable because I didn't invest my $5 preschool graduation money on 3 rental properties and a side business. Here's some advice: 1 tug a day keeps the wet dreams away. I'm gonna be a little busy the next couple days, so videos may be a little less consistent, but I shall be back. I will return. Just try not to miss me too much while I'm gone, okay? I was trying to start a fire earlier without a burn permit, except my lighter wasn't wanting to work properly, so I said, all right, well, I guess I gotta go down there to the, you know, store and get a lighter. And I walk in, I take one look at the clerk with the, you know, the slick comb back hair, the soccer jersey gold chains, and I could tell he was Canadian. So I try to be all respectful and shit. You know, I walk up to him like, what's up, man? Home is where you make it. And he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, look, man, I ain't never left my hometown, all right? I like Ryan Reynolds, and I thought we were having a bonding moment there for a minute. He said, get your shit and get out of my store. I said, fair enough. He said, what you want, man? I said, I just need a lighter. He said, you got your ID? I said, as a matter of fact, I do. Slammed it on the counter with a little bit of attitude. He takes one look at my ID. He's like, this ain't you. Huh? So what you mean this ain't me? He said, I can tell this is your picture, but it says here you were born in 97. There ain't no way that you're 28. Look, man, I appreciate the compliment, but you shave this, and I look like a 42-year-old getting ready to prey on the adolescent in a rusty Winnebago. Now, are you going to sell me this lighter or what? He's like, fine, I'll sell you one, but it's going to have to be a crack lighter. I said, all right, under one condition. He said, what's that condition? I said, you don't tell a fucking soul about this. All right, I'm Team Bic. I like to keep it classy over here. You embarrassing me with this dusty-ass lighter. Matter of fact, pass it to me discreetly. This is a drug deal now. The Passover was terrible, by the way. The guy definitely wasn't Jewish. Either that or the drugs in Canada must really suck, because everybody knows that you can tell how good something is by how discreet the pass-off is, all right? It's like the better it is, the longer they want you to wait to see it. It's like getting a birthday present. All right, come on now. We're almost there. Just a few more steps. All right, stay there. All right, now hold out your hands. Hey, keep them closed, no peeking. This was quite the opposite. In fact, Ray Charles could have seen this shit coming with the lights off. I was so damn embarrassed walking out of that store, I almost forgot my 12-pack of Seagrams. Walked outside, old head, you know, standing out there smoking a port. He said, damn, Bryce, when'd you transition? I'm so fucking stupid. I was like, man, I've been on TikTok for a while, but I just, you know, recently got over to Facebook. I probably should learn to read a room better, but then again, I am mentally dyslexic, so there that is. Anyways, I did get my lighter, though, you know. So the other day I'm hanging out at my buddy's house and we decided to go on this beer run. And as we pull up to the liquor store, I can't help but to notice this white van sitting across the way. At first I didn't think much of it, but you know, when the liquor store came out, the liquor store, and I started seeing some sketchy shit, all right? They were parked across the road at this gas station, right? And every time these kids would walk out of this gas station, they go calling to them, trying to call them over. And I immediately felt just weird about this, you know. It's kind of unsettling. They do this for about another minute, 2 minutes tops, and then they pull out and they go to leave. And I done got curious at this point, so me and my buddy, we pull out, we go to follow them, you know. We follow them up there to the McDonald's, you know. They pull into the McDonald's. Now this is where shit gets weird, right? All right, the driver gets out of the van, and he looks exactly like how you think he looks. He goes around, opens up the side door. When he opens up the side door, this kid probably 10, 11 years old, I don't know, 12 max maybe, jumps out of the van and hauls ass full sprint to McDonald's, and the guy, he quickly goes in behind him. I'm like, all right, now something's going on. And it was at this moment I realized that as a good citizen, I had to take action. So I tore off a piece of my shirt, stuck it in the gas cap, set it ablaze, and I watched that son of a bitch blow sky fucking high. It was amazing. Just an arsonist's wet dream. Turns out it was the community youth church van. I'm convinced I'm gonna die of old age before I get to see the series finale of Stranger Things. I done forgot the damn names, the plot, the story, all I remember is that damn running up that hill, running up that hill. That's all makes me want to run into a tree in my car doing 83. I don't know what's worse, them or The Walking Dead, because I got beef with both. You see what I'm saying? Season 2 of Walking Dead, in my opinion, not only is the best season of that entire show, it's one of the best seasons in all of television history, okay? From Shane going crazy to Sophia getting locked in the barn and turning to the big zombie horde they had to fight off at the end of the season. Nothing compared. And then they proceeded to take a big fucking shit on it. Now I don't know what the hell is going on. They got 5 different spin-off shows now. I don't even care what the hell. I don't care what Daryl's doing now. I don't care anymore. I don't even know why they made all them spin-offs, because it ain't like they still popular like they used to be. I mean, Negan killed that Korean kid and we all collectively was just like, hell no. That's why I still believe Breaking Bad is the greatest show of all time, because it's relatable. Okay, I see meth and Jesse Pinkman's every time I go to Dollar General. I'll give the show credit for ending, all right, because some shows don't, okay? Y'all have these Netflix shows, you get on, you watch like 2-3 seasons, you get fully invested, and then you find out it got canceled. And you're like, why the fuck did it get canceled? Were the ratings down? No. Was it a financial problem? No. Hell, I don't even like Family Guy as much as I used to. I used to love Family Guy, and then I got older and I realized like a lot of their jokes are kind of, cutaway gags and shit. They got nothing to do with what's going on in the episode, and I realized that shit's kind of fucking lazy. I'm not sure what inclined me to rant about television today, but here we are, and we're here now, so enjoy it. Because I'll be talking about something else tomorrow. So I went to the gas station for a pocket scale earlier, right? And it felt like the most illegal shit that I've ever participated in. Now, first off, pocket scales are used for a lot more than just weighing marijuana. All right, they're also good for, all the drugs. But the point is, it's not illegal to own one, and I wanted one. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Walk in the store. Guy that runs the store, he's owned it 20 plus years, so he's seen me evolve from, bug juice and big league chew all the way up to condoms and rolling papers. But apparently he was not prepared for this. I walked around the store for a few minutes. I ain't seeing him anywhere, so I figured I'd just ask him. He immediately started giving me that disappointed dad energy. You know what I'm talking about? I had to shut it down immediately. I said, Javi, you ain't come to not one birthday party, man. No need to be present now. He got kind of sketched out. He started looking around the store real suspicious. You know how like when you do in Walmart when you got to fart real bad? He went to reach under the counter. I about panicked. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, hot damn, Javi about to pop a cap in my ass. Javi ready to die about these measurements. Now, apparently, and I did not previously know this, but pocket scales got such a bad rap that he had them concealed underneath his fucking counter. He tried to give it to me real discreet. He was like, go ahead, put it in your pocket, buddy. I was like, I don't even know if I'll fucking want this now. At this point, we about to go home and eyeball this shit. Here's Javi making me feel like this shit ain't worth it, and then 20 years from now, I'm gonna have high blood pressure because I put too much salt in my fucking dumplings. But nah, seriously though, he had every right to feel disappointed. I was totally gonna use that scale to sell pot. So earlier, me and my son, we were on YouTube. We was watching educational videos on how a person would die on each planet in the solar system. They got to finishing up talking about Neptune, and the video just ended. And I said, what the fuck about Pluto? The hell Pluto go? I had done completely forgotten about the fact that Pluto wasn't even classified as a planet anymore. All I'm saying was when I was in the 4th grade, Pluto was a planet. Then when I came back to 5th grade, all of a sudden it wasn't a planet. Now, trying to explain that to me at that delicate young age was like trying to explain to your youngin' why mommy and daddy stay in different houses. Apparently, I was so traumatized that I had mentally blocked it off until this video had reopened these horrific memories in my mind, and I am a victim. I was just wondering, did any of the other planets have any say in this, or do we just call the shots dictator style? Because it seems kind of crazy we would do that, being as we can't survive anywhere outside of our atmosphere without any type of special equipment. I was watching how we die on these planets, And I was like, damn, outside of Earth, we some bitches. Hell, we ain't got no right to be making these decisions. Aliens are laughing at us. Look at them down there stuck on that rock. It's hard to trust a man born after the planetary legitimacy loss of Pluto. I've got nothing to add to that previous statement. I just felt like I needed to put it in here.